glad to see you. John Gray here.
Lauren Foster.
Just plain living. That's us.
Peggy Burton.
Who's that?
Peggy Burton.
And I'm Jim Fuller.
And we're here to say
Happy New Year
Yeah.
to all of you.
I want to know how many people can't fit in their pants besides me.
I'm not raising my
Nobody.
hand.
I was actually talking to our viewing audience.
Bigger pants.
Well, somehow it appears you got in them.
Yeah.
Very carefully, right?
But I'm lightheaded from lack of oxygen.
Did you use a shoe
Lack
horn?
of oxygen.
I'm jumping up and down.
I can assure you, you're not the only one with that issue.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's usually the way the new
All
year
right,
starts.
I want to ask all of you a question.
All right. I'm ready.
How did you receive your black-eyed pea?
Oh, no. I didn't have black-eyed peas this year. So that mean I'm going to have a terrible year?
Nor did I.
Oh.
Nor did I.
Hey, I had
Oh.
Brussels sprouts.
I didn't either.
You didn't have black, so I'm the only one. I get all the good
All the
luck
good
this
luck
year
for the whole entire
for the
year.
whole show.
This will be a very good test.
Did you find the
We
dime
will
in it?
see.
Did
We
somebody
will-
put money in there for you?
No,
My
no.
mom used to do that.
I
She would-
received my black-eyed peas once over cornbread
Yum.
and once over rice.
Almost as good.
Yeah, almost as good. We had two different locations.
Cool. And you
Had
didn't have to
black-eyed
cook any
peas.
of them, did
Didn't
you?
have to cook a one of them. And even there was one even rolled over on a piece of ham, and I
Oh
got
my
it
goodness.
too. It's so funny. My son Jacob eats one black-eyed pea.
And that's it.
He doesn't like black-eyed peas. And we were
one.
at Fran's cousin's house, and they have all this stuff. And Jacob goes into the kitchen and he says, "May I have one black-eyed pea, please?" And Teresa looked at him and went, "What?" He said, "I want one black-eyed pea." And she said, "Well, can I just rake it off of this plate?" She said, "How about 1.5?" And he said, "That's acceptable." So Jacob had
for
1.5 black-eyed peas.
Superstitious, but
Does
doesn't like
anybody
the
know how that
black-eyed
got
peas.
started?
Don't have a clue.
We should have looked that up.
Yeah, we
we
should have.
should've.
Lauren will find
answer.
that out before the show is over.
Right.
Absolutely.
She'll have a report.
By the closing, we'll know why
Yeah, we'll
black-eyed
know.
peas.
That's right. That's right.
And there's a band named the Black-Eyed
The black-eyed
There it
peas,
is.
yeah.
that have been
They're
very,
much
they're
more
very.
recent than the tradition.
Oh yeah, for sure. And they've done a lot. They
And
were
we're
very
going to
good.
pay attention all year and see who is actually lucky, the Brussels sprouts or the black-eyed peas.
So has everybody got resolutions? Have you got a resolution?
Yes,
What is
I
it?
want to try to be healthier this year. One year, my resolution was to eat bacon and eggs in a different place every week.
Well, that's a cool
That's
idea.
a very good one.
And
How did that work
Did you
out
do
for
it?
you? I remember
well,
that year.
It worked out real well, and the is, in my opinion, the #1 place around here to eat bacon and eggs was the Midway Cafe between Murfreesboro and Shelbyville.
Oh, yeah.
At
I know
Decent.
what that is.
And I went up there recently, and it was closed, and I was very upset.
So no more
No more.
eggs and bacon.
But they
Too bad.
had when you get fried potatoes there, they sliced them round. My mama used to cook potatoes sliced round with onions and put
Instead
them
of
in a
just chop,
skillet
chop, chop.
Yep. My mama
and
too.
fry them up,
With pinto
and
beans and cornbread.
they had some good food there, but evidently enough people didn't appreciate it.
Aw.
So, but that was the best place. So this year I'm going to try to be healthier. And there's a guy right out there that's going to
That's
help
right.
me do
Dr.
that.
Lawson.
Dr. Lawson's
Ed
in the
Lawson's here
house.
today. And
Dr. Ed.
I'm sure he's going to have suggestions for us about how we can live
By
a
the way,
healthier life
I wasn't paying
in
attention.
2012.
But Dr. Lawson came by our little office party that we had at our county.
That was
office.
fun. That was a fun
Did
party.
he partake in anything that he preaches against?
No.
I should have checked.
No,
you know, but I
he
wasn't
was
paying
very
attention.
much by the rules.
Oh, okay, all right. I just want to make sure.
Ed Lawson is disciplined, I got to tell you.
John Gray tells lies. He's going to get struck with
Hey, I'm
buttering up our guest.
I'm good to go. I had the black-eyed pea. I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. Well, you know, there may be some blackmail in the future for Dr. Lawson.
There you go. So, Lauren, you got any resolutions?
I'm going to save. I'm going to have a real life savings account this year.
Good girl.
I have a new project. I'm going to be working with the Tennessee Magazine. And last week, Stephen Gallagher and his new band were on our show, and they're in the Tennessee Magazine. Everybody gets this. It goes to all members of the electric cooperatives throughout the state. So pick it up and read about our local heroes over
and they are.
over in Wartrace, the
They're called-
Stradivari of Tennessee.
Send her a bill for that, John.
Yeah. Yeah, she gets the bill.
That'll cost you
Take it out of my
$100.
check.
Take it out of your check.
Yeah, oh, that would be
It
cool.
would be difficult, wouldn't it? Oh, well.
So yes, I'm going, and my New Year's resolution for a million years has been to quit smoking, but I already did that last year, so that's
Yeah.
gone.
Good girl.
And I always resolve to lose weight. Guess I'm going to do that again this year.
Every day, every day,
Every day.
Every day
That's a
battle.
resolution every morning.
Yeah, John, I happen to know what kind of diet John is typically on, and the things that he's been talking about he ate over the holidays, none of that's on there.
Oh,
and I
okay.
fell victim to that as well. And so it's always from January through about April every year, it takes me to get back to where I need to be.
Oh, it'll take me all the way to next December.
Here's what a psychologist told me, that you pack on extra pounds to get through the winter, like the polar bear.
Like
Yeah,
I
and
think
then
so, too.
as the season changes, you start to take it off. At least if you're smart.
Yeah.
I think so too. You
I had
sleep
one
more,
year,
it's cold.
several years ago, I dropped from what my fighting weight was when I was running a bar. It didn't need to be that big anymore.
Fighting weight.
Well, it was
Yeah, I
true.
get you.
I mean,
Yeah,
you had to have a
fighting
little
weight,
bulk because you didn't want people pushing you around in case
Right.
there was a problem.
Right.
So, but anyway, several years ago, I dropped probably about 20 pounds, and then from Thanksgiving until well, I probably started at Halloween, which is what Julia says she does.
Yeah.
Until January, I think I must have put back on about 15 or 16 pounds, eating anything I wanted, and I actually had to buy some new pants to get me through the last 2 weeks of December. I mean,
Well,
Gets
I
expensive.
They make them that stretch
I'm
now,
trying not to
Jim.
let that happen anymore.
yeah, I get up every morning of my life swearing to be able to shop in my closet, meaning I can fit in my clothes.
Right.
Yeah.
But I do
yeah.
have a resolution.
What is it?
Lifting more weights. So I started that first of the year, and be the same wonderful person that I already am.
Well, we hope that works out for you.
I love it. I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. I love it. I love it. What about you, Jim?
Well, I have the same issue that Lauren has, and she's graduated. Do you think I meant to ask you, the electronic cigarette thing probably helped you tremendously?
Oh,
didn't it?
absolutely.
Have you ever
know,
totally gotten off of electronics?
No, I still
Oh.
use this, but I don't consider that smoking it. It is not bad for me. It doesn't hurt me in any way, form, or fashion.
Yeah.
It's no different than
You don't smell like nicotine?
Oh,
No.
no, there's no smell to it.
I smell good, I'm healthy, and I'm
There
not
you
going to
go.
die.
Yeah.
As my friend Julia likes to
Right.
say. It's like smoking, but with no stinking and no dying.
Yeah, not only that, it saves you a lot of money. I know Pam, my partner, quit. She's graduated now to zero, whatever it is.
Zero nicotine,
Zero
yes,
nicotine.
sir.
Yeah, and it saved her, I don't know, about $200 a month
At
on
least,
insurance.
yeah.
You know, she had to go be
That's
tested
amazing.
because they don't ever believe you. You have to go.
Yeah.
They don't believe you.
Yeah.
I
But
don't blame her.
you have to go take the test.
Yeah.
And but it worked out well for her. Saved a lot of money.
for her.
So Jimmy's got to
That's
quit
really
smoking
good.
this year, and you
Yeah,
have
yeah,
the means.
yeah.
But do you want to? You know,
I don't know. You know, when you get my age, you think, something else might kill me before this does. So,
you have to weigh.
you know,
Will I get hit by a truck? Maybe I'll just get hit by a truck.
Go out quick.
Yeah.
well, I mean, at one point in my life, I think that I smoked. Cigarettes were a lot stronger than
Sure.
than they are now, and at one time I actually felt bad.
Yeah. So,
And now I
and you
smoke,
don't feel bad.
I don't smoke enough anymore
that's
where
a good
I feel
sign.
where I feel
Yeah.
bad. So
Moderation in all things.
Moderation.
There you go.
That's my resolution every year as well. Moderation is not my thing.
No,
You want it all,
I've
don't
noticed
you?
that about you, Lauren, over the years.
I'm either asleep or.
Well, one of the things I've always wanted to do is be on television somewhere other than here.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's easy
Well, I
to
mean,
do.
I like this here, but I just thought it'd be cool. I've always wanted to hear one of my songs on the radio somewhere.
Oh, that'd be
Wouldn't that be
That'd be
good,
very
to
good,
be
yeah.
driving down the road and hear one of your own things that you created on the
On the
radio?
radio.
That would be awesome.
Well, they're doing this thing on Channel 4. I'm a Channel 4 watcher.
Okay, tell
But I
us.
always have liked
What's
Channel 4.
happening on Channel 4?
Well, they're doing a morning show. Their morning show, they're doing a thing called the Wake Up Call. where you can, families or whoever, come on the air and they send little videos in with a wake-up call.
You don't want to do that?
And
You should do that.
I sent one in and they used it.
So you have been
Have you
on
got
TV.
Yeah, so I've been on TV. Let's go,
Fantastic.
Philip.
Let's
Oh,
hear
are we
it.
gonna show
All
it?
right.
Okay.
This is John Gray from Tullahoma with your wake-up call. It's your wake-up call. It's your wake-up call. Holly and Ian, Jennifer and Paul. News, weather, and traffic for you, they've got it all. Perfect way to start your day, it's your wake-up call. Oh, Rudy, best sports guy in Tennessee, and Bolger talks to folks like you and me. On your wake-up call, it's your wake-up call.
I love
That was pretty good there. John Gray, a great wake-up call for us.
Oklahoma. Loving it. I'm impressed.
That was very, they got some talent. We're both dancing along, bopping along at 411 here. It's our wake-up call. You see, you can get pretty creative with it. The more creative, the better. Just send it on in.
You don't have to sing a song, but you certainly can. We love showing all these off. But yeah, just put it on our Facebook.
That was great.
4:11 in the morning. I reckon how many people saw that.
I didn't know what time it came on because I shared that on my Facebook page, and somebody said, I hope John didn't have to get up and go down there at 4 o'clock in the morning. And I didn't really know, but I was pretty sure you didn't get up and go down there.
Maybe they'll start to use that every day.
Who knows?
Well, have you heard
There was another little part of it, but they cut it, and I'm sure they only have so much
Right.
time to do that.
But I think that's awesome.
You could hear them. You could hear them snapping. Holly was snapping her fingers.
Yeah.
You could hear her snapping her fingers on it when I was playing. and so do something creative this year, folks. If you have a dream, go out there and grab it by the tail and see if you can lasso it.
That's
There
right,
you go.
because the world is going to end this year, of course.
Oh,
I believe
is
it's
it this year?
November.
Yeah,
Isn't
so
this
no,
the year?
May, I think.
May?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
You know what I saw?
Way less time than I thought.
Did you see that cartoon? There was a cartoon of an Aztec, and he had this piece of stone, and he had carved this piece of stone.
Need a Mayan?
Mayan, whatever, whoever did it. And he was looking at his buddy, and he said, all I could get on there was up to 2012. And his buddy
saw that,
His
yeah.
buddy said, this is really going to upset some people. A long time from now, there's people really going to be excited about it. He needed a bigger wheel.
My mayor is here today, the
man.
mayor of Normandy.
All
Is he?
right.
Uh-huh. P and Nick, one of the old buildings on the square had to be raised.
Raised as
R-A-Z-E-D?
Oh.
Doesn't that mean knocked down?
That's what it means.
Yeah.
I don't know
Which
whether that's
doesn't
how you
make any
spell it or
sense. It
not.
should be raised. Anyway, it
lowered,
was
maybe.
demolished.
It's going to be lowered.
And
Yeah.
I think Bob Payne, our man, was there.
He was.
He get
And I was
pictures?
driving back and forth a few times. Yes, he got video. We're going to see that.
Fantastic.
And
All right.
Nikki's going to talk about the future of that building. And she's one of our entrepreneurs on the Square.
Yeah.
Square in downtown Normandy, the River Cafe. And then Larry's going to talk about the
Is it
history,
open,
I
the
think.
River Cafe?
It is. They're open every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Fantastic.
And really nice place to eat.
Good.
Come visit us in Normandy.
So Normandy is
Normandy.
on the map.
on the map.
All right.
The
Yeah,
bottom.
of course.
Glad to
Lauren moved
hear it.
there a couple of years ago.
Yeah. When Lauren moved in, stock went up.
There you go.
Thank you. That's so sweet. I wish it were true.
All right, folks.
We don't
what
have
need
the
to do,
dog
I
of the
guess,
month. The
is-
dog of the month didn't show up.
Yep,
but you
here he is,
Oh,
right here.
there he
Dog
is.
of the month.
go check
He's been-
out your
he's
animal
been neutered.
shelter.
See?
Oh, me.
Nothing there.
Thanks for sharing that,
Nothing
John.
there. He's ready. Jimmy D.
This could be the end of our career.
Right there. Dog of the month. He doesn't eat much.
He's had his
No
shots.
problems. You don't have to worry about him running down the street, chasing cars. He just sort of lays around. A really good guy. Jimmy D.
Jimmy
Snuggles.
D is on the set. I
Jimmy
love
D.
Jimmy
Potty
D.
trained.
How long
Dog
has
of the
Jimmy D
month.
been here?
Jimmy D's been here for, what, Jimmy? About 15 years.
I'd say he's been
Jimmy
here
D, I got
forever.
Jimmy D when I had my nose broken so many times when I was young that they finally went in and straightened it out, and I had to have some it was swollen
Yeah.
for a little bit. And the girls at the flower shop gave me Jimmy D
To keep you
And he has become your
because of his
security blanket.
nose, and I called him Jimmy D because of Jimmy Durante,
There you go.
because of the nose. And at that time, mine was just about as big as his is.
Good night, Mrs. Calabash.
That's wherever you are.
We had the X.
So, this is Dog of the Month this week, but you can't have him because he's mine.
'Cause he's we have a really
Wave for
great
him,
show.
Jimmy D. There you go. There you go. Huh?
X.
X.
Don't make Jimmy
X.
mad at us.
See you in a minute.
I'm Lori Thompson.
And I'm Mike Thompson, and we own Thompson Ford in Tullahoma, Tennessee. Lori and I bought the dealership back. It's on Highway 55. Same dealership that we had for 10 years. Look forward to serving you for another 10. Thank you to the community. Thank you for allowing us to be here for the last 15 years. Thank you for having us raise our family here.
Thank you for all your support.
It's been a great place. It's a great place to live. Look forward to living here. Put me in the ground here. I'd be proud to do it. God bless America, and God bless Tennessee.
Our office used to look like this, but now with My Paper-Free Office from R.J. Young, it's easy. We've made all of our files electronic and stored them in our virtual filing cabinet, which gave us tons of space. And Bob here, a big promotion. Melissa can pull files in minutes and spends hours on Facebook. And Kyle's confidential files stay confidential.
We're not totally paper-free, right?
My Paper-Free Office from R.J. Young. It's that easy.
Wherever good can overcome, that is where your contributions to the Salvation Army go.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're pleased to have joining us on the set now Dr. Ed Lawson with Lawson Holistic Chiropractic Clinic on Maple Hill Drive in Tullahoma. Appropriate that you're here today, Dr. Lawson.
Yes.
Because we were talking about New Year's resolutions and things that we should, do or that we look forward to accomplishing this year. Probably everybody wants to lose weight and feel better.
Right. So is this the first broadcast of the new year?
Yes, it is.
Awesome. It's good to be on this show.
Yeah.
So anyway, if you want to start your new year off right, and by losing weight and getting out of pain and getting in shape and getting healthy, I can help you accomplish that.
Yeah. Give us some examples, some free advice.
Well, all you have to do is stop eating gluten-containing grains.
Gluten-containing grains.
Yeah. Now, you want to be under chiropractic care to help restore the problems that created.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of, if you have a lot of symptoms, only 1 in 3 people are gluten sensitive.
Really? That many?
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. And 1 in 100 are celiacs, meaning they have serious problems from eating, being exposed to gluten.
Mm-hmm.
They have a genetic inability to digest it. So likely, if you've got symptoms, you've got I'm talking about some kind of joint pain, arthritis, chronic fatigue. What they have been discovering about gluten sensitivity and antibodies is that gluten antibodies can trigger an autoimmune response. So you can have autoimmune diseases caused by gluten. And the same gene that causes celiac disease also causes diabetes.
Where are some of the sources that you would get gluten from?
Bread, noodles, pasta, biscuits, gravy, cakes, cookies, pies.
Oh, it's all over the place, obviously.
Soy sauce, salad dressings, any kind of thing that comes in a box that you cook, you've got to really be good at reading the labels. A lot of things are saying gluten-free now at the grocery store, so that's helpful.
Gluten being a problem for people is something that's relatively a new science, is it not?
We're coming to understand it.
Yeah.
But it dates back century. I mean, aeons. How do you ever say that?
Yeah.
Because a Roman doctor noted it in like 2 BC.
Really?
Yes. that's a couple thousand years ago, right?
But based on what you just said, the places that it's found, it could get a little tricky to avoid it. Is it?
Right. Yeah. It can be difficult. I mean, because that could be people's main staple. Mm-hmm. And so it's in wheat, barley, and rye, and a few other grains in smaller amounts. But those are the main ones that are in our diet.
Mm-hmm. So I'm guessing then that your recommendation is stay away from it all. Well,
some people have also. I had a patient come in the other day, and she was she'd been in chronic fatigue and joint pain. Anytime the weather changed, I guess she felt like she got hit by a car or something. Mm-hmm. But she, for 2 years with migraine headaches and all that, well, all that's gone. It's all gone. She says it's weird when the weather changes now because she doesn't hurt. And that's because of being on a gluten-free diet. Now, she says that she could tell when she gets exposed to it because her joints start aching again. And for her, it's wheat and oats. She can't eat oats.
So is there some process whereby you can narrow it down to specifically what, like the wheat and oats, that this is what...
Right. Well, what you would do is get on a grain-free diet for until you notice a change in your symptoms. And stay on that until you level out, and then you would add one grain and see what happens.
So this is a process that could take a little bit to refine it.
But let me tell you, the results are worth it.
Mm-hmm.
They are hugely worth it. I have another patient. She came in the other day and said, "I've lost 12 pounds." And we just did the nutrition consultation. We hadn't even started the chiropractic care yet.
Uh-huh.
Now, when we threw that in, I mean, she'd been doing that for about a month. When we threw that in, her results are really speeding up.
Unbelievable. And a lot of people have the goal of losing weight, certainly as a New Year's resolution. But I would think that based on what you said contains gluten, if you eliminate that from your diet, that's probably going to help you lose weight, would it not?
Right, it will. It'll help you lose weight, but it also affects how you think. It affects chronic fatigue. So a lot of our goals are tied into, doing more things. Accomplishing more, thinking clearer. Mm-hmm. And it's going to help in so many facets of our life. It's amazing. But see, the problem with it is we are addicted to those foods.
We're addicted?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I've had so many patients just give up and go back to eating it and suffering. And it's not necessary. There are cool techniques to overcome addictions. One of them's called EFT. You can Google that. Emotional freedom technique. I can also teach people how to do it. I do that with patients. I help them overcome addiction with little things that are interfering with our health goals. Mm-hmm. And emotional release techniques and things like that to help clear those things so it's not quite a stumbling block. It's just like getting over smoking cigarettes. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you can get past that need or fulfill that need another way, it's easier to quit. So then these techniques can really help with that.
Someone told me that if you can make it 3 days, that your physical addiction has passed you. It's all in your head. It's all mental then at that point. So
that's probably different for different things, but it's mostly, I would say, just even getting up to the point to say, okay, I'm ready to quit. That's a huge mental decision.
Sure. I know that one time early on in life, I got the flu, and I smoked at that point. And I got the flu, which was stupid, I guess, because there's stuff for that. But I got the flu, and so I didn't smoke anything for like 7 days.
Uh-huh.
Once I got to feeling better, I thought, I guess I don't need those either, So it was like,
so you quit?
At that point, I later started back about 10 years later, but
oh man.
Yeah, I mean, by the time I got over the flu, I guess I was over the addiction as well.
The physical addiction, withdrawals. Yeah, right. You felt bad anyway.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was a good time to
I wouldn't advise getting the flu though to get over get off of the cigarettes. So anyway. So that's pretty amazing how that works. As I said, obviously if you cut back on gluten or eliminate gluten from your diet, it's obviously going to help you lose some weight.
Right, but it helps your joint pain. A lot of people come to me because they're hurting in some way. Mm-hmm. There's also like peripheral neuropathy that they're finding is related to the immune things that are triggered by gluten
problems.
osteoporosis. You know, just chronic fatigue, like I mentioned earlier. So I'm talking about everything, and including the irritable bowel syndrome and any kind of digestional disturbance, GERD. You know, the list is huge.
You know, Ed, since we're already talking about it, let's remind our viewers, we probably have told them this before, why is it that you refer to your practice as a holistic chiropractor?
Well, I'm a holistic chiropractor because I look at the whole picture. You know, your health is not just your spine, although that's a huge part of it. But what I look at not only is stabilizing your spine so that, you know, your symptoms go away, but what is triggering your spine to go out of alignment in the first place. Okay, so it could be something you're eating, it could be an emotional habit, it could be some toxins, it could be a nutritional deficiency. So I look at all of that stuff to try to help your system balance and strengthen so that, you know, you get the full potential from the adjustments. And what, you know, a lot of people have a misunderstanding about chiropractic. They think, well, once you go, you have to keep going. And, well, it's just like going to the dentist, you know, you need to go. You know, some people more than others. And the same way with chiropractic. Now, but they think as soon as you start getting adjusted, I guess we were talking over Christmas with some relatives, and they think, well, you know, it's going to have to be adjusted all the time. Well, you can quit any time, but you want to keep going because you want to keep in balance, because you lose that balance after a while. In the beginning, it's more important to come more often, and then as you stabilize, you can get on a maintenance schedule, anywhere from once a week to once a month, or once every 6 weeks, depending on how stable you are and how good you are about taking care of yourself. Stress causes misalignments. You know, people get stressed up and their muscles tighten up and they get a headache behind the eye. Usually the headache behind the eye is C2. So I mean, there's physical symptoms and where they're at tell me where their back is out.
That's pretty amazing. And I bet a lot of people are pretty surprised about how much better they feel. Are they?
Yeah. Even patients who don't have a lot of pain. A patient came to me one time, his back was hurting so bad, and this happens a lot. His back was hurting so bad that once I adjusted his back and got it better, and then I adjusted his neck, he sat up and said, "Oh, wow, I think my neck must have been hurting. It feels so much better now." And he wasn't even aware of his neck hurting. It's just he got so much relief, he thought, wow, my back must have been hurting. Had another patient, she comes in regularly because it helps her attitude. It helps mentally. Amazing. Helps her attitude stay up. So there's a lot of reasons to come, very few reasons not to come. Like if you've had surgery and your doctor said, I had one patient, he said his doctor told him, if you see a chiropractor's office, hit the gas pedal.
Really?
Yeah. And so he was hurting so bad he finally just tried it because he didn't want to go through another surgery. And so I helped him. His shoulder was hurting so bad he could hardly raise his arm. And so I started working on his neck. I used some tools instead of hard manual manipulation because he had some contraindications to using aggressive force to make the adjustment. So I used light force techniques with some tools, and I could be very specific. And you know, he's raising his arm, saying, "Wow, that feels a lot better. I'm glad I came in."
You know, it's kind of amazing that a doctor today would tell a patient not to go to a chiropractor because chiropractors are much more accepted now as in the medical professions they used to be.
Right, but there's still some bias and misunderstanding. We're trained when and where to adjust, and medical doctors don't understand what we can do. A lot of them, so they misunderstand that. You know, well. Certainly, there are things that are so bad in someone's spine, I'm not going to put a lot of force there. But it's amazing what we can do around that area or even to that area to give relief without being very aggressive.
Yeah, okay.
Sometimes it's just releasing the scar, using some technique to release the scar, and that alleviates a lot of pain.
Unbelievable. All right, a good way to start off the year. That number on the screen there is probably yours, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Give me a call. We're going to have a seminar coming up this year to help get you started on getting out of pain and losing weight. And call the office so you can get on the list if you're interested.
Okay. Dr. Lawson, always good to see you. All right, stop by and or give him a call at that number. Folks, we'll be right back in just a moment with more living.
Tommy Anderton and Martha Jane Barton from Traders Bank to Sharewire Channel 6 viewers should bank with us in 2012. Martha Jane, I've known you to be employed at Traders Bank practically all my life. What is so special about Traders that's allowed you to enjoy 52 years employment?
Tommy, there are several things that make Traders the best. At Traders, it's like family as an employee and for our customers. Each customer receives exceptional personal service. At Traders, we're flexible and timely with our responses. At Traders, we listen and accommodate.
Martha Jane, thank you for that testimonial. Our New Year's resolution is to continue treating customers like family. It's truly why so many people never bank anywhere else.
Traders Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
These are the children who had no chance. They're known as Brazil's street kids. They wander the streets dying by the thousands from drugs, AIDS, and bullets. Most of them have been abandoned, left to survive on their own. These children needed a place to go. I had to do something. So I brought it up at Rotary. People heard about what we were doing and asked how they could help. Together, we raised funds to give them a home and open the school. They're learning a trade. Now hundreds of kids have a family and a future. They're contributing to the community because Rotary believes in making things better for everyone.
Rotary is making a difference right now.
They have hope.
Rotary gives people an opportunity to help.
Welcome back to Living. I have with me on the set today somebody that I love and it works so well at South Jackson Civic Center. Fran Gray, thanks for coming.
Hello,
You got lots to
Peggy.
tell.
I do indeed.
So, take it away.
It's a great new year at South Jackson Civic Center, and we're just really excited. I have to always remind the folks that you are our wonderful performing arts chairman.
Thank you.
Peggy works tirelessly to bring wonderful talent to our stage, and of course, she's the best herself, and we love it when she's on the stage.
Thanks, Fran.
She is bringing again our Jazz on Jackson, an annual event that we enjoy so much, and that is coming up very soon, Peggy. That's January 28th. Is it today the 3rd?
It's close.
Yeah, so just 25 days away when we have a wonderful evening. We'll have a reception starting, what, about 6:30, something like that?
I think so, yeah.
And then we have a new jazz group in town, jazz vocalist, called Jazz for You, and they're directed by Ann Baldwin. And it's a group of high school kids, and they come in and sing, and they have some instruments, don't they, accompanying them?
I believe so. Yes, I believe so.
All right, so they're going to perform for us in our reception prior to Eric Mintel. Many of you have heard Eric Mintel. He's a fabulous composer and jazz pianist. And he is bringing with him 3 friends. You see their picture there. They are just wonderful musicians. They, as I say, do a lot of original pieces as well as a lot of Dave Brubeck. And they're just great young men. They are from Pennsylvania, and they love to come south. And one of their favorite things is having a good Southern meal. So they'll have that while they're at South Jackson. And folks, you may not know, but we don't have a grand piano at South Jackson. We grew up with one there. In fact, Peggy's sister, I could still see playing for our music classes there in the auditorium. So we have to rent one now, and we're getting a Yamaha to come up from Huntsville. Hopefully we're going to have good weather and it'll be there. We always have our good keyboard to fall back on if we have to. But we're going to have this keyboard Yamaha grand piano brought up, and while we have that on the stage for Eric Mintel, who is a Yamaha artist, we're going to use it again on Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock when we have Vicki Collinsworth, There she is in the red, and Lisa Maurer. They are going to do some four on the board, as I called it, or four hands on the keyboard, 2 or 3 pieces of a classical nature. And then the concert will evolve into some wonderful compositions that Vicki has written. In fact, this week she and her friends, including Kyle Copeland and John Cook, are finishing a CD they've put together. They have 3 more tracks to put down, she said. The name of this CD is Voyage, and so they will be playing primarily pieces from Voyage, and those CDs will be on sale in our reception room following the concert.
That's awesome.
So that is on Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock. And we encourage people to go ahead and call us for reservations for both of these shows. And then, just a few days later, yay!
I'm excited about this.
Yes, we have Gaelic Storm coming back. Some of you folks have been to see Gaelic Storm. They are a wonderful Celtic group. They are so energized. Oh my goodness.
They're from Ireland.
They are. And when they hit the stage, the audience just get so excited. People dance in the aisles, and they really are a great band. Some folks may remember seeing them play in the movie Titanic. They were playing in the bow of the ship as it was going down, but the group partied on. So we are really excited and pleased to have them back. Those tickets are going quickly. Oh, you may notice in the picture, Cabbages. That's the name of their new CD, Cabbage. So I told Peggy we were going to decorate with cabbages, and she thought I was going to have coleslaw hanging off the pictures. But I think it would be fun to have a few cabbages around the stage, and maybe some decorative ones out in our planters if it's not snowing. But that is on Thursday, the 2nd, right, of February, and that'll start at 7 o'clock. And we just really hope people will come out for all of these shows. We know that 2012 is a great new year for the arts, and we just encourage you to come, bring your families, bring your friends. We're looking to do more exciting things all year, and again, we thank Peggy for all her insight and talent. She has brought so much to South Jackson and continues to. So we want y'all to come out for this wonderful night of Celtic music. If you have access to YouTube, you can go on and see how exciting this band is, and you can look up Eric Mintel, M-I-N-T-E-L Quartet, and hear them. I don't know if Vicki has anything yet on YouTube.
Probably not.
Not yet, but she will. She has been published since the last time she was in concert, and I'll tell you, she's just prolific, and she just has music coming out of those fingers all the time. So we encourage y'all to all come out, enjoy South Jackson. We have other things coming up for children in the spring, and again, we just ask you to watch our marquee, watch our website, listen to Peggy. She will be telling you all kinds of good things going on. Call us and make your reservation. We talked about the tickets being great gifts for the holidays. They're great gifts anytime. And our number at South Jackson is 931-455-5321. And if you want to go on and email us, that's Sojack, S-O-J-A-C-K, at lighttube.net. So we look forward to hearing from you. The tickets are going really fast already for Gaelic Storm, so you want to call us now and get your spot reserved. So
have we told it all?
I was going to say.
Can I talk now?
Oh yeah, Peggy's.
I'm so glad you came.
Oh,
you're so informative. And listen, we couldn't survive at South Jackson Civic Center without Fran. She bounces all over the place. It's amazing what you do, and we do encourage your contributions as far as sponsorship and buying tickets and supporting the performing arts at South Jackson Civic Center.
Absolutely.
We have a video, don't we?
Yes, we do. We're going to see some wonderful music by Eric Mintel Quartet. So enjoy this and come see us. Thank you.
Eric Mintel Quartet.
There's one place women of all ages can find the care they need, the Women's Center at Harton Regional Medical Center. We're a full-service women's center with comprehensive obstetrical and gynecological surgery. Our excellent customer satisfaction rate is a reflection of our commitment to excellence. To serve you even better, we've now remodeled our facility. Our family-friendly birth center features private labor, delivery, and recovery suites. For every stage of your life, we're there for you. The Women's Center at Harton Regional Medical Center.
Get Tullahoma's news first, fast, and free with Tullahoma's News Leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Jimmy and Jenny bring you local weather, sports, community calendar events, birth announcements, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Tullahoma's news, get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
When you see the sign, The Main Event, take a close look inside at a hair studio that offers services by some of the best master stylists in Middle Tennessee. These stylists offer a list of services that compete with large city salons, from trendy cuts for men, women, and children to the latest color techniques, including highlights and bold color accents. Other services offered include permanent hair weaving and relaxing to formal hairstyle for that special occasion. You can also give yourself a very special treat with a full makeover, including full body waxing. For your convenience, we are open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. until the last client leaves happy. Call and make your appointment at 931-571-8682 or stop by our Tullahoma location at 207 North Jackson Street. Pamper yourself at The Main Event today.
How long has it been since you raced a cheetah? Are your tornado creating skills getting rusty? Tired of being the only one in your neighborhood who hasn't built a dinosaur? Sounds like it's time to visit the Hands-On Science Center. The Hands-On Science Center is an indoor science playground. In this museum, please touch is the rule. Join us for weekly science demonstrations on space, lasers, lizards, rocks, and a whole lot more. No two visits are ever the same, so visit often to see our ever-changing exhibits and demonstrations. The Hands-On Science Center, 101 Mitchell Boulevard in Tullahoma.
Welcome back to Just Plain Living. I am Lauren Foster, and I have the honor of having people from my very own hometown with me today.
Hey.
Well, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. Nikki Mitchell.
Yes.
And Larry Need Jr.
Junior. I am not the one writing the letters to the Tullahoma News. That is my father.
No, yeah.
Please don't roll my yard.
Right, don't, exactly. He lives 2 doors down from me.
That's right.
Don't mess up the neighborhood. And Larry is the mayor of Normandy, as natives say. We're not Normandy, France. We're Normandy, Tennessee. And Nikki is our new entrepreneur who has a fabulous place, the River Cafe Mercantile.
Yeah.
And how is that going?
It's great. We had a very, very good year. And now we have closed until the first part of March.
Oh, okay.
We're hibernating and re-gearing, and we just haven't had a day off in so long that we decided to go ahead and do January and February and get ready for the next step up.
Awesome. Well, when we get closer to March, we'll have you back on and we'll talk about what your hours are and your menu and those kinds of fun things.
Thanks.
All right, but what we're here to talk about today is the destruction of one of the buildings.
Oh, man.
Which apparently this is something that had to happen, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And that really, all I know is that there was a building and it had to come down, and you're going to tell us what happened to it in the future and what the plans are for it for the past.
All right.
Do you feel equipped to do that, Larry Nee Jr.?
A little quick background. The store originally was farther down the
Bob,
street.
if you want to go ahead and show the video while we're talking about this.
Okay, you can see the store that came down is the one right there with the gentleman standing in front of it.
With the awning?
With the awning
low
there.
Awning. They all have
Yes, Nikki's restaurant is the big brick building in the background there.
Okay.
And the building started out as a one-story building farther down the block, and between 1910 and 1912 it was rolled to that position with mule team and logs. And then they put the second floor on it, and the Brandons opened the store there, and the big gentleman in the hat you can see there, he was the owner of the business, and it was there. It became the Whistle Stop Restaurant with Billy and Susan Hall, and then in '85 we purchased it from the Halls and made it the Knee Joint, which was a antique store.
I did not know that.
And we ran that for several years, and the building we'd put several roofs on. It was just an old building. The first floor really didn't have the strength to hold the second floor when I added on to it. And it was slowly started to come over the side. It had to come down, unfortunately. And we sold it to Nikki.
Okay.
And now,
there it is.
and it refused to come down. It was quite a bit to make that thing finally come down. You almost felt bad about it, the fight that it put up before it came down.
I was around that day and I stopped by. I said, "What are you doing?" Tearing down the building. Went off for a couple hours, came back, the building was still standing.
I know. A tear did come down my face because I was going, "Oh, it's just, it's not wanting to come down." And the longer it moaned and groaned, the more upset I got.
Yeah. Nikki, I think our Nikki loves the beauty and soul of the historical parts.
I do of Normandy, Lord.
I tried to sell this to several people that reclaim lumber, and the people that looked at it, none were interested. So that told me right there was not enough lumber to save in that was worth the effort. So there was not much else to do.
And so had it become a hazard? Or
yes,
dangerous?
The floor had rotted in. The roof was gone upstairs. The second floor was starting to come down. It just needed to be demolished. It's sad to see it go, but...
Was it difficult to get it down without damaging the building adjacent to it? Or was that... Did you have to have engineers, or you just say, "Hey, bring the backhoe down and knock this building down"?
The gentleman came up
from Chattanooga. They had to really... What did they do? Didn't they have cables?
They had cables strung through it, and he was going to pull it straight backwards. It didn't work that way, so he started to take the side out and on it. Take the fence down on the Petticoat Junction side of the building, and nor hurt the brick building next door either.
Okay, now the building next door, your friend Rhonda.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen with that? Do we have plans for that building yet?
I think she's still in the stages. I tell you what, I've seen what Rhonda has done. She and her husband live in Chattanooga. They're both pilots, but they also do other things. And I've seen what she has done on the renovation of 2 other homes that she did in Chattanooga, and so I can guarantee you whatever she does, it's going to be very nice.
She's an awesome lady. She's probably waiting to see what that building wants to be.
Yeah, that's right. We do listen to what they say. So.
Neat. Yeah. Okay, so what about the space where the other building was?
The future plan? Mm-hmm. Well, I am still in the process of, I'm going to add outdoor brick wood ovens to the River Cafe this next year. Oh, okay. There's still some things that I want to get done before I take my attention and put it on where this building was. But once I do, I would like to bring it back the way it was. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a very complicated structure, and there's just several things. I think by that time it'll reveal itself, but maybe, having some of the Tennessee artisans like potters and painters or something, something that's going to...
like a little outdoor open market? That would be neat.
I think it would be fun.
Well, your brother Mike has claimed the concrete pad where the kitchen used to be in the whistle stop. He says that's going to be where he does his barbecue. So he's claimed part of that property already.
Yeah, we have, because we've needed... He's got a huge smoker and grill, great big old sucker, and but he's been in the rain and sleet and everything else, to make sure that the barbecue would come out. Not the barbecue, I shouldn't say that. The smoked and grill. But anyway, and he gets up at 3 o'clock in the morning. But he has fought the wind and all that sort of thing. So we're going to do sort of a whole barn kind of structure back there with where he can control the elements a little bit more.
Now, are there any rumors about the other building further on the other side of you? That's gosh, what's his name? Just
the Browning Zone.
Yes,
Browning.
Yes.
No, not yet.
I think they're waiting to see what their building wants to be too.
Yeah.
I want it to be a yoga studio.
Yeah. We could all use some yoga.
If we could get a little liquor store and a yoga studio and a restaurant, then I would never have to leave Norman.
I know. We just retired and lived happily ever after.
All right, cool.
We moved down there in 1983 when I moved back from Mobile, Alabama. My wife and I found the old doctor's home down there. Mm-hmm. Fell in love with Normandy, and you couldn't dynamite me out of that place to save my life. And it's some of the greatest people in the world live down there. Mm-hmm. It's been hard to keep businesses open down there. A lot of people are proud you open a store, but then it's hard to get a lot of support to keep it open.
It's kind of off the beaten path.
We've got some very ramrod, hard-working people down there now, and there's new people on the Normandy board that are wanting to dress the town up, get things looking real good that come this spring, and try and get it back on the map a little bit.
Now, what about the school? What's the story with the school? That's such an awesome old building. Oh, did I ask you a question you didn't want to answer on TV?
You'd have to talk to Patty Smith about that. She had some great ideas, but the way the economy's gone lately, it's slowed things down. So her projects may be on hold on that. So I don't want to say anything out of line. And I really don't know what's going to happen now.
Okay, so does the board and the mayor of Normandy have any influence on things like that?
Not really. Not like many other cities. We try and keep our nose out of people's business.
Right.
It's a small community. We have a $16,000 a year budget. Mm-hmm. It keeps the lights on, the potholes filled, and up until recently, I could say it keeps the post office there too. But the way the economy's going with the post office, we have it, I know for sure, till May.
Okay, that was going to be my next question.
That's up in the air right now. So.
Okay, awesome. Well, Nikki, we will be definitely. She's the one who brought Jamie Johnson to Normandy, or Normandy, I mean.
Yeah, who has been back several times and has fallen in love with Normandy.
Yeah,
he's a big.
When March comes, you need to head out there. She's always got live musicians. She's very well connected in the music industry, so there's lots of surprises happening in Normandy.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Thank you all so much for being with us. And Larry, if you want to come back and get on any kind of soapbox you want, we
I try to stay off the soapbox. I get enough trouble over in Bedford County as is. I don't need to bring it over to this county too.
All right, we have just a little more footage of the end of that great little building in Normandy, but there's a great future. That was it?
That was it.
Did you change your mind? Okay. Thanks for letting me know. Well, you stay with us anyway, because we've got more of Just Plain Living coming up right after this.
Citizens Tri-County Bank has the checking, loans, savings, and traditional banking services you want. plus free internet banking and bill pay, Bank Your Change, Visa gift card, and lots more state-of-the-art banking services. We focus on the service and services you want, so you can bank when, where, and how you want, at our offices or from just about anywhere. Citizens Tri-County Bank, the only community bank you'll ever need.
The highest standard of trust offers a sense of safety and comfort. It's established over time. You know when you see it. You know when you feel it. There's a standard of trust in healthcare. It's the Joint Commission Gold Seal of Approval. In 2003, Life Care Center of Tullahoma voluntarily achieved this accreditation and maintains it still today. Life Care, meeting a higher standard because residents matter most.
This is for my daddy and the chips. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming?
At Charter, we're connecting military families with free webcams and the fastest, most reliable internet speeds. Get your webcam at charter.com/canyousee.
I miss you, Daddy.
All right, folks, welcome back. And, you know, a couple of months ago, or it's been longer than that, it's been a couple of years ago, a friend of ours and a friend of Tullahoma moved back into the area, and he comes by to see us every now and then, and he's involved in a lot of good things around town, and that's my buddy Monty Halcomb. And Monty has come today to discuss something we've kind of been talking about for a year now. He's on the board of the Tennessee Wildlife Federation. And he just told me he does not work for them, he works with them. And there's a whole lot that goes on involving wildlife in any state, but particularly I would think in the state of Tennessee because of the different types of stuff there is here, the reserves, the lakes, the public lands. What does it take to be? How did you get involved in that, Monty?
Well, my educational background is in biology, vertebrate ecology, and I started working with the Tennessee.
What was that second word?
Vertebrate ecology.
I don't think I've ever heard that before.
Well, it's an ecology program that principally focuses on vertebrate animals. But anyway, back in the early 70s, I got my master's at MTSU and then worked on a doctorate at UT and was asked to work as a consultant with what then was the Tennessee Department of Conservation and established the Tennessee Heritage Program. And during that period of time, our office was just down the hall from the Tennessee Wildlife Federation. And we joined up, and it's the only conservation organization that we've maintained our association with from that point on. So it's a good group. We work very closely with the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency. Mm-hmm. That's one of our primary programs. And the Tennessee Wildlife Federation was started back in February of 1946 by the outdoor writers here in the state of Tennessee. And in about
outdoor writers, as in people who write about the outdoors?
Right. And those folks
as
that wrote for the
opposed to
newspapers.
writers.
Right.
Okay.
The ones that write for the newspapers across the state. And then in about 1948, because of the emphasis these gentlemen placed on wildlife conservation, fish and wildlife conservation in the state, the Tennessee Wildlife Federation, its original organization was founded. And I'm sorry, that was in '46, and we were able to get the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, it was Game and Fish then, formed. Uh-huh. And then in the '70s, transitioned from the Game and Fish into what is now the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency itself.
Well, you know, we've had quite a few things on the show in the past about. I know we did something on the Eagles when the Eagles were here, and Tim's Ford, the group out at Tim's Ford, it does a great job in promoting that and trying to promote, as does the state park system as a whole, trying to promote conservation and the education of wildlife and what we have around here. And with with budget cuts, the way the governments are hunting money, you know, is that stuff going to be affected, Monty?
Well, it's interesting, John, that the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency gets $0 from the general fund. It is funded solely through the purchase of licenses. Hunting and fishing licenses, also permits if there's a commercial fisherman, and then some of those funds are used as matching funds to get some from the federal government.
Right. Okay.
Generally the Fish and Wildlife Service. But yes, you know, hunting and fishing, as the economy continues to get hit, there are fewer and fewer individuals going to afford, you know, the licenses. I mean, they can't afford the food and the gasoline for their homes, and their families are losing their jobs. So it's difficult then to fund some of these wildlife programs themselves.
Well, you were discussing with me the other day something about the wild boar.
Yeah.
The hogs, there's problems with the hogs, and not just in Arkansas.
No, it's not just the Arkansas Razorbacks. I'm the chairperson of the Tennessee Wildlife Federation's Governmental Affairs Committee, and we deal with the legislature and our membership on issues that affect fish and wildlife resources in the state. And last year we had a pretty strong emphasis on trying to defeat that white-tailed deer farming bill, which we were successful in doing. This year it looks like the wild hog populations across the southeastern United States have exploded. And there's been some substantial increases in those populations here in the state of Tennessee. And these wild hogs are very, very detrimental from a conservation standpoint, because they'll go in and they root up the ground, which then can cause erosion. There's been some farmers that have lost over $10,000 in their corn crops because these hogs will go in and
eat a bunch of corn.
Oh, well, they'll just dig it right out of the ground. The farmer will go in and plant it, and the hogs come right behind them and dig it right out of the furrows. They also can carry some diseases that are transmittable to other livestock. So the livestock industry and the pork industry here in the state are concerned about the expansion of these animals. And there's some groups, I mean, they're fun to hunt, but it appears that some of these hogs have been translocated by folks who are more engaged in the hunting prospects, and they can do some severe damage to wildlife and conservation agricultural uses. And the wild pig population from '88 to 2009, you can see where they've really, they've exploded. And if we just focused on Tennessee alone, between 2009 and today, there has been even a far more substantial increase in these animals. And they're segregated populations, which means to us and the Wildlife Resources Agency that people are actually translocating these animals for hunting purposes. And it's the landowners that will have some problems, and livestock owners.
Well, why do you think, you say they're exploding? What is the reason? Is there a reason for that? I mean, is it there's better stuff for them to eat? There's certainly there's not more space. You would think there would be less space as the population grows. What would be a reason for that hog population just to increase at a huge, by huge numbers like that?
Well, first, their reproductive rate. The hog females can start reproducing at age 6 months, and they can have 1 or 2 litters a year, up to 10 to 12 piglets per litter. So they're very, very reproductively viable. That's one reason. The second reason, John, is that they're omnivores. They'll eat anything. They can eat acorns. They dig into agricultural crops. They'll even kill and eat small animals.
Right.
And
their own.
Their own, and they're very smart. So you know.
But haven't they had those traits always?
No.
I mean, that hog has had that trait always, hasn't it?
Correct. But there's actually 3 different categories of these hogs. One category is the domestic hog that we're familiar with, and probably you and I had at least 1 or 2 of as we were growing up here in the country. The second are some of the imported Russian boar that were brought into Tennessee and some other states in these hunting preserves. that.
So this is a different animal than was hanging around back during the Wild West
exactly.
and in the 1800s.
Exactly, yeah. And the wild boar have escaped. Some people have purposefully moved them, and we now have hybrids. So that would be the third category, and the hybrids are extremely, big problems for folks.
So does everybody need to go out and get their boar hunting license, get gun training, and go hunt?
No, actually the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency stopped the hunting of these wild hogs in the state of Tennessee. They passed a regulation that stopped it for the simple reason that hunters were the ones that were moving these things, so if we could stop legally hunting them. Now landowners can control these animals.
Okay. She's saying we have some video ready here.
Oh, okay.
We have distant populations beginning in new states. And this isn't a natural expansion of feral swine. This is through humans moving these animals from the southeast or other areas into these new states.
Very simply, what happened was between the end of the 1980s and the present, wild pigs have become the second most popular big game animal in North America, second only to white-tailed deer in numbers harvested every year. And those hunters, especially in the northern tier states that wanted to hunt these animals but they didn't want to drive south, they very quickly figured out this is something they could fix. All you had to do was get a trailer load of pigs, you could trap them, buy them, whatever, take them to wherever you wanted them, and turn them loose, and pigs did the rest.
Feral swine are very hardy animals. They have a high reproductive potential. They're omnivores. They're strong, enduring animals, and they're able to, in a lot of these areas, if enough animals are brought into the area, establish a population and then start spreading again.
In addition, because these are such a popular big game animal, there's a lot of commercial fenced shooting operations in this country that offer wild boar hunts. Pigs don't fence very well.
In Texas, we say that any fence that will hold water will hold hogs. Fences may be hog resistant, but they're not hog proof, and eventually hogs will be able to breach any fence.
Between those clandestine illegal releases and those escapees from these fenced enclosures, this is where this expansion has come from.
Wild pigs often leave distinctive field signs that make it easy to tell whether or not pigs have moved into an area.
All right, so that pretty much tells us what and shows us what's going on.
That's a good example of it. That tape was made by the Mississippi State University, and they have a very strong wildlife program down there that are focusing on the problems that these wild hogs are causing. Nationwide, these wild hogs are estimated to have caused at least $1.5 billion in damage, and with agriculture, just agriculture. And that doesn't include all the conservation issues that they've had. And that's one of the main issues that are coming along right now with the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency. Another of more concern to us is the attempt by some legislators here in the state, particularly in the House, to either abolish or totally restructure the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Commission, which actually is the governing body for the agency itself. Some of these legislators are not happy because they didn't get a pet project through, and so they want to abolish the commission and set up a commissioner, just like the Tennessee Department of Conservation or the Conservation and Environment now, or Tennessee Department of Transportation has. And that person would be directly be appointed by the governor, where right now the 9 of the 14 commissioners that sit on the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Commission are appointed by the governor. Then the Speaker of the House and the Speaker of the Senate each appoint one, and then the Commissioner of Conservation and Environment, the Commissioner for Agriculture, and the Governor himself are actually members of the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Commission. And that did not get reauthorized last year out of the Governmental Affairs Committee in the House, even though the Senate reauthorized them for another 3 years. So there's a real issue going on at this point, and that's something that we're very concerned about.
And how do you think that, in your mind, how does that need to be does it need to remain the way it is now?
It certainly does, and there are always ways to improve the communications with organizations, and one of the main reasons that some of these legislators have said that they want to change the structure is because the communication hasn't been as good as they would have liked it. But I know that Ed Carter, the executive director of the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, has made numerous trips to different parts of the state talking to individuals and groups that are concerned about it. When the House did not reauthorize the commission, I and others sent letters to the Speaker of the House, the Speaker Pro Tem, and the leadership of the House. And as a direct result of that, Judd Matheny from right here contacted us, and we've had several meetings, and I am really grateful for the work that he has done, trying to better establish communications and work out some of these issues.
Well, I know I was at the Backroad Heritage dinner a month or so ago, and a gentleman, and I'm sorry I can't remember his name right now, made a talk, and he's with the parks. Mm-hmm. And was talking about the state parks and how they were doing and what was going on. And it was really good to hear someone of knowledge, with knowledge about that and about the economic effect it has on our state on all of our coffers, towns, counties, to get out in the public and come to meetings and Rotary clubs and stuff like this and present the facts, because a lot of times the citizens don't know the facts. No. And and maybe these guys need to get out like you're doing right now and tell people, tell the tale, tell the story, and let people understand the good that comes out of what you do, and that doesn't need to be lost. No. Doesn't need to be compromised.
No, our heritage here in Tennessee from a conservation, wildlife, fisheries standpoint is outstanding. So,
let's keep it that way.
I hope so.
Monty Halcomb, my friend.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being with us, buddy. And know you can come back anytime, okay?
Yes, sir.
Folks, we'll be right back after these messages.
Serving you as a local firefighter. Proudly served our country in the United States Air Force. Serving Tullahoma. Helping our kids.
Hi, I'm Terry Stroop. Your comfort is our service. We'd like to thank Tullahoma for the privilege of serving your heating and cooling needs.
How can toys like these lead to a 6-year-old's death and leave another child permanently brain damaged? Because they're not toys at all. A safety message from your local fire department and this station.
Oh, there's my cat. Should I put her away?
Lighten it up a little bit.
How's this? Great.
Good. There we go.
So you've been meaning to do something healthy, commune with nature, get outdoors, and meet new people. We have the perfect solution. Come hike with us. You can find a Tennessee Trails Association chapter near you, including Clarksville, Columbia Franklin, Cove Lake, Highland Rim, Jackson, Knoxville, Oak Ridge, Martin Weakley, Memphis, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Plateau at Crossville, Rugby in the Big South Fork, and Upper Cumberland. We're on the web at TennesseeTrails.org. It's fun, it's stress-free, and it's good for you. See you on the trails.
All right, we're back, and I just saw that logo come up and it said Just Plain Living. Didn't say Tullahoma Living anymore, and there's a reason for that. We've taken our network regional, and in doing that, we are trying to reach out to all the towns around here and have an impact and get local stuff going on there. And because of that, I have a young lady with me here today who is going to be working with us in Shelbyville, and that is Marilyn Ewing. And Marilyn, hello.
Good
How are you this morning?
How are you? I'm wonderful.
Wonderful.
It's good to be here. Good to see you.
Yes, you too.
Thank you.
And Marilyn has been doing production of television in Shelbyville for
wow, it's 11 years.
11 years now.
Actually.
And Marilyn has done the city council meetings and filmed them for us, and has a show of her own called Marilyn and Company.
Yes, yes.
And then she also helps numerous churches in getting the word out about what they want to say on the air, and,
Sure.
and then does special events as well.
I do. I think that it's very important to cover many aspects of what's going on in the community, whatever community you're in. So I've been a part of that for a long time, and I just enjoy it. And it gets me a chance to meet people and to learn a lot what's going on. So that's a great thing.
Right, it sure is. And what Marilyn's going to be doing, folks, is she's going to be around over there as well as what she does in her programming. She's going to be searching for news items for us and human interest stories for us to bring on this show, and also to bring on our News Leader show, which plays in Shelbyville as it does everywhere else, 3 days a week, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 6, 8, and 10.
Yes.
And then the Living Show plays Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday at 6:30 in the evening, and Thursday morning at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
And so we're just excited to have you on board.
Thank you.
And,
thank you.
And look forward to a good relationship. And you folks out there realize that this pretty young lady right here might be walking up to you and say, "I'm going to put you on the news."
I can do it.
You can put them on the news.
Yes,
can't you?
I can. I feel very comfortable with talking with individuals and such. And I've gained a lot of knowledge about what's going on in Shelbyville, and a few people know me, so that's a plus.
I bet more than a few.
A few people know me, so that's a plus. And so it's not going to be very hard to get out there and just kind of, I need a little story on this.
Stretch it a little bit.
Yeah,
Let's
exactly.
Get out there and get some more.
Sure. So it's
Never can
exciting.
tell. They might want to stop collecting garbage again.
Oh my goodness!
Wasn't that a good story?
Well, that was probably one of the biggest issues that Shelbyville faced in a while. And it kind of dragged on there for a little bit. So, and it had both sides, opposing sides, very visible. Yes. But it was finally ironed out and such, but people were really on pins and needles.
Yes, and Marilyn, during that time, the shows that Marilyn brought to us, a couple of shows of showing the meetings there when they were hot in battle over there, over the two different factions.
That's right.
And when you talk about stuff like that, and you talk about tax dollars, and people get steam under their collar.
That's right.
But they work it all out, and then in the end, it comes to a proper solution.
We're like every small community. Money is tight, and the economy is a little bad still. So when it comes to that, as you mentioned, tax dollars and such, it gets a little touchy. So
Yes,
I think that was pretty much the issue.
Yes, it does. Well, what's some of your favorite things to do, Marilyn? Just a little bit about you as a person.
Oh my goodness.
I know you spend a lot of time with your work.
I do.
How did you have your black-eyed pea?
Well,
this New Year's
it was very nice. I'm very quiet on New Year's, and around the end of the year through New Year's Day, it's a family thing. It starts with Christmas because our family we're like kids. Mom, she's the matriarch, and of course, so she's this. Yes, most people know Ruby, Miss Ruby.
Yeah.
And and it's just kind of like all of us. My three brothers and I, we come over, and the rest of the family, my sister-in-laws and such, my nephews and such. So it's a great thing. We have the big breakfast on Christmas, and it's quiet on Christmas night, and goes through the New Year. It's very quiet, but we did do the black-eyed peas.
How were they presented?
How were they presented?
Was it in a gumbo? Was it in a soup? Was it just
I am very kind of a plain type person. I put them in the crock pot and season them up, and that type of thing. So that was
just
it.
Plain peas.
That's just plain peas.
Do you realize, but Jim Fuller, Peggy Burton, and Lauren Foster, and I all four sat up here, and I was the only one who had black-eyed peas.
Really?
So that means now that you have
Oh, it's a tradition.
You and I get all the luck.
It's a tradition.
We get all the luck. They
can't complain. Brussels sprouts.
Somebody, who was that? Lauren or Peggy said they ate Brussels sprouts.
Oh my goodness.
I wonder if that's good luck.
Oh.
If Brussels sprouts is good luck, I'll never have any for the rest
for the rest of life. Yeah, exactly. But it was a great thing. We had the greens and that type of thing. So
good stuff.
It's all good. It's all good. But
we might do a cooking show.
Oh, we'd love to do a cooking show.
Wouldn't that be something?
I
we
can't
get some
cook personally,
advertising.
but.
Folks, we'll be looking for advertising out there. We're going to do a cooking show.
On a cooking show. So.
This is before and this is after.
Good, John. Good, very good. But as far as me, I'm just kind of, people criticize Marilyn because I work a lot.
Mm-hmm. What's to criticize about that?
Wee hours in the morning, here I am on the computer, I'm editing a program. My favorite thing to get for a Christmas present are digital tapes or DVDs, blank DVDs. I've got to have these.
Yes.
And so I'm criticized. I'm not going to get you things that you work with. Yeah, I want to get you personal things. So I just enjoy my job.
Well, you have a nice looking jacket on.
Well,
is that
thank
a Christmas present?
It is. Santa brought me the jacket. So,
it's very nice.
Thank you. My mom will be happy that you
Miss Ruby, you
made
did
a comment on the jacket.
There.
Thank
she
you.
looks good, doesn't
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Well, Marilyn, it's going to be a pleasure to work together
Likewise.
again, and we're just happy to have you on the team.
Exactly, and I encourage people from all of the communities, as you mentioned. I don't know if you've just said this in the segment, but so many communities that you're serving with Channel 6, but it's a diversity of programs that you have here, and that's a wonderful thing. I really enjoy all of the different things that you're airing.
It is, and one of the things we do is, people have said, well, you're showing the Shelbyville board meeting or you're showing the Tullahoma, and I don't really care about that. But some of that stuff is not, it's happening in all of our towns.
It is. It is.
And just because it's happening in Shelbyville doesn't mean, or in Manchester, or in Tullahoma, we've all got to get past that turning the channel because it's one of our rival towns. We're all living in this lower middle Tennessee area, and we've all got to draw industry and business into town, just like Nikki that was just on here from Normandy.
Yeah,
and they're relocating businesses to Normandy and Bell Buckle, and all of that stuff helps all of us bring tax dollars into this area and keep the roads paved and all that stuff. And just like Tom Corrington's doing a show right now on school boards, not just the Tullahoma School Board, but what it takes.
Yeah.
In government today to be a school board member, no matter where you are, and be a good school board member, and the education. I didn't realize they have to take classes.
Oh my!
They have furthering ongoing education that they either have to take or they have to get off the board.
Exactly.
So there's a whole lot of stuff we're all learning. And we can help one another no matter where we live because we're all sort of in the same small town existence.
Yes.
And we have to be smart and help one another.
That's right. We all want growth. We want prosperity and success.
Yeah.
So we're in it together. Let's work together.
That's what we're going to do. Folks, if you see Marilyn out there, out and about, getting video, or if you see her, and ask her about advertising opportunities on Channel 6, because we can help you grow your business as well. So for me and Marilyn and me, and Bobby McGee, we'll be back in just a minute.
Thank you. Thank you, John.
You're welcome.
All that attention, all you wanted was...
Hello, this is J.D. Oliver from the Smokehouse on Mount Eagle Mountain. Me and my sisters Nancy and Betsy would like to thank you all for your continued support. This year we're celebrating our 50-year anniversary at the Smokehouse. In conjunction with our 50-year celebration, we are bringing Music on the Mountain every Saturday night, 7 p.m. till 10 p.m., featuring the best of Nashville. We have had some wonderful singers, hit songwriters, and Nashville's rising stars have taken the stage. Come out this Saturday night and every Saturday night through the end of the year. Make it a date night or bring the whole family. Help us celebrate 50 years in the community. Music on the Mountain is free every Saturday night at Jim Oliver Smokehouse.
Hey, this is Sean Mayer. I'd like to invite everybody out to the Smokehouse every Saturday night for great music and awesome food.
Thank you very much, y'all.
Some people think that pressing their on-demand button will cost money or make their house explode or something. Of course, neither of these things is true. On-demand is just a way to access thousands of free movies and TV shows. The code to blow up a house is actually channel up, channel down, 2*77.
On demand, thousands of free movies and TV shows on your schedule, and nothing bad.
Another great show.
We're back.
Yeah, it was a good
we
show.
gave Lauren
Very
an
good
assignment on the opening
and
here
she's got
because
it.
we
It's
didn't.
very long.
Right, we didn't know about the
tradition.
black-eyed peas. Why do we have black-eyed peas?
It
And I think
started in 500 CE, which is the Jewish term for BC.
Right.
No, the Jewish term for AD.
AD,
Yeah,
okay.
so really long time ago for the Jewish holiday, and it also included bottle gourd, black-eyed peas, leeks, beets or spinach, and dates, and it came to America with the Sephardi Jews in Georgia in the 1730s and was adopted by non-Jews around the Civil War.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and
it's very healthy.
Yes, and another cool thing was the Union soldiers, the Yankees, would leave those behind when they pillaged. They would consume or steal or destroy everything that they saw of value, but they saw field peas, black-eyed peas, as only good for livestock, so they left them. So it was sustenance for the people
left behind.
Yep.
That was great. Thank
Isn't
you.
that interesting?
Yes, it is interesting.
Inquiring minds want to know.
And you know, all these years I thought it was a Southern thing.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
So we learned something today.
Yes, we did.
So did Lauren. It's always nice when we can challenge her a little mind.
Just plain living gives you just plain sense.
There you go.
That's right.
We'll make you smart.
That's right.
I'm going to go out and buy me a can of black-eyed peas right now.
Wonder if it counts.
And I'm going to call Beverly Long to do the cornbread.
That's right.
Celebrate your Confederate ancestors. Well, there we go.
And next time
Next time we're out of time.
All right.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, folks.
See you next week.
See you next week.